Hey everybody, Plushie here. So today I wanted to try a shorter form of my usual hot take videos that involves less testing on my part and also less detailed than my usual hot take videos. However, this will allow me to push out servant reviews at a better pacing when there are a lot of servants in a singular event, or just when I'm extremely busy in real life. I will make sure to sort of alter the title so you guys know when it is a light version. So today's topic is going to be on the brand new 4-star Berserker, Nakagura Shinpachi, and without further ado, let's get into today's video. Shinpachi's entire skill set is very much focused on doing burst damage, especially critical damage. His first skill is a 3-turn 30% buster up, a 3-turn special effect that allows him to gain 10 stars whenever he gets hit, and finally a 1-time 3-turn guts that revives him with 3000 HP on a 6-turn cooldown. So this skill is slightly awkward in a team. The 30% buster up for 3 turns on a 6-turn cooldown is a pretty standard number for a buster self-steroid. However, the gain stars whenever to get hit effect is kind of inconsistent in a team, and also guts are in general not that great in a team. However, this is a very good skill in solo situations or when he's the last man standing, because he's the only one getting hit in those situations, and essentially this skill feeds him 20 to 30 stars every single turn, allowing him to do triple buster chains while still generating this amount of stars makes his crit damage a lot better than his other competition. His second skill is a big reason why people complain about him and think he's a year 1 servant, because it's just a normal Mind's Eye True. It's a 1-turn evade with 18% defense up for 3 turns. This is kind of a trend with Shinsengumi 4 stars. I'm pretty sure Saito also has Mind's Eye True on his second skill. However, I do believe evades are a lot more valuable on Berserker servants, because for a Berserker, even if they're at full HP, having an evade for a full turn might mean life or death. This skill also pairs very well with his first skill, guaranteeing him the ability to take 3 hits and generate 30 stars. You can even pair this up with Cheng Gong, who has good synergies with him because he's a Buster Berserker, and taunt him while he has both his skill 1 and skill 2 up to force generate 20 to 30 stars with his effects. So honestly, I like this a lot. You know, just as an evade on a Berserker, it is already a decent effect. Shinpachi's third skill is a 1-turn 5000% star absorb up on buster cards, a 1-turn 100% crit up, and a 10 star bomb on a very short 4-turn cooldown. So I think this is an amazing skill, especially on a servant like him. A lot of people, including myself, is obsessed with the idea of a 3-turn buffing steroid over a 1-turn steroid. However, unless you're buffing your MP damage, which you can semi-consistently get every single turn, a critical damage boosting skill usually is not actually that valuable if they last for 3 turns, versus if they have a bigger boosting number that only lasts for a single turn, especially if they also have a shorter cooldown, because you won't be getting all of the cards that you want to crit with every single turn because of just how the deck system works in FGO, unless you're doing something like a min turn where you are shuffling your deck every single turn and hoping you get the perfect hand, or you're doing a solo where you get your Brave Chain your entire hand every single turn. So this skill basically allows him to pick whenever he has the most buster cards in his hand, and then use this skill to burst down the enemy, which is very, very good. And the short cooldown guarantees him to be able to use this quite frequently, which is also very nice. And this skill also benefits his critical damage even in a solo situation, because the star absorb up is on the buster cards in particular, and it's also very high. So essentially he will get all of his stars on the buster cards, so you don't need a full 50 stars to guarantee his crit. Essentially you almost only need 30 stars to guarantee a crit. And once again, in a solo situations, his first skill generates 20 to 30 stars very consistently every turn, and with the 10 extra stars from this essentially guarantees him to get a fully critted Buster Brave Chain at 100% crit with only a 4-turn cooldown. His passive is only a 5% buster up. You know, it's sort of a trend that a lot of 4-star Berserkers have crappy passives, but hey, at least it's another buster up. And finally, Shinpachi's MP is a single target 4-hit Buster MP that increases his own critical damage by 100% for a single turn, removes enemies' evasion buffs before damage, and finally it buffs him with a Buster buff that also happens before damage for a single turn that scales from 20% all the way up to 40%. So this is a very explosive and simple MP with a Buster Brave Chain leading with his MP. At most he can get up to 50% Buster up and 200% critical damage up with his 2 Buster cards. So this is absolutely insane numbers for just self buffs. This also removes evasion, which is sort of a worse short hit effect because this can't remove boxed buffs. However, a lot of servants do like to spam their evasion skills, so having this is still really valuable against certain bosses. So this skill allows his critical damage to raise to such high levels that even when you're doing something like an MPQA Mighty Chain, especially during solos, because you will be generating a lot of stars with that skill 1 and skill 3 combined anyways, despite the Buster star absorb up, you might get crit on both of the quick and arts cards as well. Of course, you also get the 20% critical chance when you use a Mighty Chain. You still get a lot of damage. Even for going the 50% Buster up, you're still getting 200% critical damage boost just from the MP and the skill 3, because both of their crit boosts are generic. So this very much is a burst MP. Once again, you want to use it when you have the best hand for crits, and it plays very well into his entire playstyle and his skill design. So if you can't tell already, Shinpachi is not a farming servant at all. His skill set, even down to his MP, is very much focused on doing one-turn bursty critical damage instead of doing MP damage. So he has no anti-trade, his MP damage isn't anything extraordinary compared to his other competition. There's even a free evocation Summer Jolter who has a free MP5 compared to him. So overall, unless there's a raid that has a removable evade, I guess, or in this particular event where he has event bonus, I don't really see him being a farmer anywhere else. However, in a team as a generic Buster Beatstick, he performs very competently. He has all the effects that you want in a servant like him. He has the evade that keeps him alive, he has the star absorb up that allows him to crit consistently despite being a berserker with low star weight in a team because of the massive 5000% star absorb boost on his 3rd skill, and he has a sizable 3-turn steroid that comes with a guts. You know, the guts comes in clutch sometimes. With double Koyan Lite, he can reach crit cap very easily, funnily enough, because you can double cast his 3rd skill with the very short 4-turn cooldown with double Koyan Lite's 1st skill with 4-turn cooldown reduction. And with his MP added into the mix, he gets 300% critical damage up just from his own skills. And of course, double Koyan Lite gives another 100% Buster crit up, so you just need another 100% critical booster such as Summer Scotty or Merlin to get his Buster critical damage up to 500%, which is the cap number for critical buffs you can get in this game, which is pretty funny. How practical this is depends on you. Sometimes you just want high burst damage, and this absolutely can achieve that for you. So very, very fun unit. And of course, the special niche of removing evades is not as good as Invul Pierce or full defense removal, for example, but it's still a pretty decent niche, especially for a 4-star beatstick. However, where I believe he truly shines is in a solo situation, because of how much more he gets out of his 1st skill when he's the only servant on the field. Guts obviously is a lot better in solos than in a team because it essentially buys him 1 extra turn, and also the gain 10 stars when he gets hit effect is a lot more consistent when he's the only one taking hits. He has the advantage of gaining 20 to 30 stars every single turn while he's just using his triple Buster Brave Chain, which sometimes don't generate that many stars, even though his extra attack being 6 hit actually is already pretty decent at generating stars compared to his other competition. I would go as far to say that Shinpachi is the best last man standing 4-star berserkers when we don't take Bond Seas into consideration because of how much more damage he does within those turns compared to his other peers. When you are last man standing as a 4-star berserker, you don't want to try to outlive your opponent. All you want to do is do triple Buster Brave Chains, and because of his consistency of stars from his first skills compared to all his other peers, he can do a lot more damage because those Buster Brave Chains are going to be critted instead of non-critted. His survival is actually above average once again when we exclude Bond Cs, because he has both an evade and a guts, and the evade you can easily pop immediately when he's the only one left on the field, because as a last man standing berserker, they usually die even from full HP, so if you pop it immediately you might have the chance to use it again with Atlas Mystic Code, and also take small advantage of the 18% defense up. If the enemy's attacks aren't that high, it might allow him to just live another turn from that defense up. And of course, that third skill also has very short cooldown. You can easily use it twice in a solo run, even if we don't take Atlas into consideration. And of course, you know, if you do take Atlas into consideration, you can obviously easily use that twice in a single run, or even 3 times if you live long enough. Castle of Snow Herc is very strong because he can keep spamming Buster Brave Chains and live longer than the other competition, where he can do Buster Brave Chains for more turns, and also he gets stronger the more he procs his guts. However, Shinpachi on the other hand doesn't live as long as Castle of Snow Herc, but he does so much more damage within those short turns that he's alive on the field, that in certain situations when you actually have a better CE to equip on your DPSs, for example an event damage bonus CE or a very strong anti-trait CE, Shinpachi might actually outperform Herc with Castle of Snow because of how much more damage he's able to dish out with the shorter turns he is alive on the field. In conclusion, Shinpachi has a very elegant and simple design. He obviously can do very interesting stuff in a team, and he has very high critical burst damage with double Koi and Lite comps. However, I do think it slightly hinders the effectiveness of his first skill, which in my opinion is his best asset and his most interesting part of his kit. Shinpachi is not a servant that you want to sort of main DPS compared to someone like Kriemhild that you want to sort of keep alive for the entire duration of the fight. However, he is someone that you can just throw into the backline who can finish off the enemy with a lot of focus and quick burst damage. Shinpachi also doesn't really care about his MP damage that much because of how much of his damage being focused on doing critical damage. His MP is more of a tool to remove evade as well as bolster his critical damage even further on top of his skill set. So even at MP 1 he can be extremely effective, and that's a good thing because usually these limited 4 stars problems is that their MP levels are a lot harder to acquire compared to permanent 4 stars. So I certainly had a lot of fun while testing out this servant, and I bet you will too if you are interested in this very cool and elegantly designed single target berserker. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is kind of short because once again Shinpachi's design is very straightforward, and I wish you the best of luck of pulling for this unit, and I'll see you guys in the next one.